Your boy Josh or Zero here, bringing you all a brand new episode of the Gears Cast. Welcome everyone to the Gears Cast, the best Gears of War podcast here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here tonight. So let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm super grateful for all of you who are going to be joining us here for the show because this is a special one tonight, guys. I've got Clutchy on the podcast here
Yo, so
tonight,
guys,
guys. I am super excited to have you, brother. Guys, let's get some GGs in the chats for Clutchy. What's up, dude?
hey, I'm glad to be here, man, and very, very happy you decided to invite me on, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. I enjoy your
Yeah,
day.
dude.
It's gonna be fun as well.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited about it. I mean, I know it's super late for you right now. Guys, we got first and foremost, go check out Clutchy, right? Whether you guys are watching us live or you guys are watching this as a VOD, go over and check out Clutchy's Twitch. It'll be in the description down below. Guys, go check him out. He is consistently grinding Gears of War. And my gosh, dude, it is you have been absolutely crushing it with the boys. I want to ask you, bro, because this whole thing with Gears of War and this grind that you put into streaming, and you guys play the game a lot, and I'm sure we're gonna get to E-Day here. But man, for everybody who's gonna be joining us and all you guys and girls joining us in the chats and everything else, I love you guys. Fucking love you guys. Um, Here's what I want to ask you, brother. Um, Before we really kind of get into the weeds of the podcast, I want to ask you, because for those of the people who watch my channel, watch the shows, things of that nature, who aren't maybe haven't really caught one of your live streams or watched any of your videos and things of that nature, I want to give you the platform, dude, here for a couple of minutes to tell everyone a little bit about yourself, how you got started in Gears of War, this franchise that we're all here because of Gears of War, and what your plans are for Gears of War E-Day. I'll give you a couple minutes, homie.
Oof. Well, first of all, as some people may know, my name's Jamie, also known as Clutchy, and I originally got into Gears of War simply because of my dad. Like, back when I was like a little tiny boy, I was playing on the 360. My dad came home, had Gears of War 1. He was playing Horde with his friends or online with his friends, and I never actually got into playing multiplayer until Gears 3, but we used to play the campaigns together. And he was always Marcus, I was always Dom, and that's how it went. Gears 1, Gears 2, Gears 3. And then I actually got online, started playing multiplayer, and then I was hooked. Honestly, like it was just mainly like the chainsaw and the gore. I was young. Of course, I liked all the blood and the sweat words in front. That's what grabbed me from the game, and
Oh yeah, dude. That's
it was
awesome.
just bonding with my dad. It's really cool. So
And what are and so you're as like obviously your dad kind of got you into it.
yeah,
And does your dad still play?
unfortunately, my dad passed not too long ago.
Wow,
Um,
dude.
literally like about 3 months ago now, just before 3 months ago, and we spoke about E-Day, and we both said, E-Day looks awesome. Because I was excited when E-Day got announced. I went through into his room. I was like, "Yo, yeah, look at this!" And he was like, "Oh, awesome! We'll play it together." And unfortunately, he passed. So this would be my first Gears game without him. So that kind of sucks. But I know he'll be rooting for me. So I just gotta
Well,
play with
dude,
him.
that's I want to tell you, man, like I'm really sorry to hear that, and it's really powerful though that your mindset of he like is gonna be watching down on you and like really proud of you and like what you're doing, dude, and what you're about to do with E-Day is gonna be, I think, really fucking special, and that's part of the reason why I wanted you on here. So let's fucking this podcast is for your dad, dude, for sure. That
I
is
appreciate that, man.
without a shadow of a doubt, man. So let's with E-Day, now we kind of get to where we are. What are your plans here as we go to the beta? as we go to this road to launch. What are your plans, dude?
I'm hoping to just try and keep all the way up until launch. We've got the beta in what, like 20, yeah, in less than a month now, less than 30 days. Looking at what, 20 days now from that,
Yeah.
so on the 6th.
Yep.
And I'm hoping to just keep streaming as much as I can, trying to keep putting content out, trying to keep Gears going, and trying to keep the name of Gears running in people's mouths, in people's thoughts. And as soon as that E-Day beta drops, honestly, nothing else exists. I'm basically single for those 2 weekends. Like I'm just focusing on E-Day. Like
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I feel that, man. It's gonna be a wild ride, dude. And so I've told everyone, Clutchy, over the course of over the course of time here, I'm kind of treating E-Day like this is it, like that this is the last Gears of War we're gonna get, so we better go all the fuck in right now, because we aren't promised another Gears of War title, and I believe in my heart of hearts that we're gonna get more Gears of War games in the future, but we need to, in my mind, it's like we need to focus on like this game and acting like this could be the end of it all. So
absolutely,
what with that mindset, I believe it's going to get people to create like incredible content. It's going to get people to have amazing streams and not take any of this shit for granted, because it could be over after this. And so I'm just that's how I'm going into this thing, bro. I'm so excited, dude. I'm all in this thing for everyone in the community, all in it for you, dude. I want to see other people grow in this thing. I want us all to grow together as a community, and I think that it's fucking time. It is just simply put fucking time that the community gets a spotlight on it, unlike anything we've seen before with Gears of War. And so very excited about it. Um, let's talk about E-Day, dude. Gosh, one of the things, as we've kind of, I want to pick your brain about just how you feel about E-Day right now. Like how is the like what are the vibes like over there? And guys, for those of you who don't know, obviously, Clutchy is in Team Essence, and I kind of want to, before we even get to E-Day here, I want to ask you about Essence, dude, and ask and like how this whole thing kind of happened with Essence, because guys, for those of you who don't know, I mean, Essence is like one of the prestigious Gears of War teams, and have been around for a while, dude. So how did Essence happen, bro? And like, what's that been like? And what are your guys' thoughts about kind of moving into E-Day? What are you guys thinking is going to happen with the team, like in terms of like content and everything else that you guys are trying to do over there? I'm sure people would love to hear this.
I mean, well, originally I was like part of different montage teams back from Gears of War 4, so then I kind of slowly grew my name. And with the streaming side of things, because that's what I am, I'm a content creator for Essence. I'm not necessarily like a montager. So that's how I got into Essence, through the streaming. It was actually like Mew Milk that hit me up. He was like, "Hey, you're a pretty cool dude. I want you in this team." And I was like, "Yeah." It's like, if Mew Milk hooks you up, you accept that. And like, let's
Yeah,
be
no, for
honest.
sure. Yeah,
And
for sure, dude.
E-Day, we're scared, but we're very, very hyped because we're trying to bring Essence back to the full. We're trying to bring back the Gears 3 days of Essence, where we're making content together. We're all just vibing, putting off so much stuff out on YouTube. Like TikTok, we've got TikTok now with like YouTube Shorts, so we've got all these different small like things. Before it was just YouTube, pretty much, but now you've
Yeah.
got like your short form content, so you could maybe like post like older clutches or older clips on from that we had back in the day on TikTok. So, and E-Day, we are gonna. But well, I can't say. I don't want to say too much, but
Yeah.
we're all getting prepared for it. I'll say that.
Yeah, dude, prep. Like it's going to be all about the preparation. I'm so excited, guys, to see what essence what like what they're planning on doing for E-Day, because none of us even really, I mean, although we've seen, we had the Xbox Game Showcase, where we saw the first gameplay reveal, then we saw, uh, of course, the direct, which was more of that deep dive. We still don't really know how this game is going to feel at all yet, unless you were, unless you're a play tester that got a chance to play the game, or whatever. It just feels like to me, bro, that um there's still so many unknowns. And
Yeah.
and so anyways, I want to ask you, because I think it's important that we kind of dive a little bit into this, the movement, and how you, and I mean obviously other montagers and things of that nature in the community have relied so much on the different movement mechanics and things of that nature in Gears of War up to this point, and now it's changing. And I mean, we don't know how drastic it's going to be, but it looks pretty drastic the way that the movement is and things of that nature. I will say that I do believe that we needed changes within Gears of War for a new generation of gamers, and like um there were just things that it was they needed to try new things. As a franchise, we need that to continue innovating, evolving, and things of that nature. But like, what are your thoughts on some of the drastic movement changes that it looks like are coming into Gears of War E-Day? What were your initial thoughts? Were you really concerned about it? Were you like excited, or were you kind of like in the middle where like, okay, let's see what what this all is? What was your initial reaction to the new movement?
When I was watching that ED Direct, and I saw Marcus slide, and then I saw Marcus mantle Picova, I was like, okay, it's like not what I was expecting, but it kind of looked a little bit like Fortnite. You kind of like the sliding, like the mantling. It kind of looked like that. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, no, this is. It could be a good thing because Gears does need to modernize. Let's be honest. Like everyone, any old Gears player can like war bounce. They can slam any new casual player because they just know the movement and the. So changing the movement is a good thing, but it's also a very very high risk move because
Yeah, hugely. um when we talk about risk, it's massive. I agree.
like, it's not just like the wall bouncing that they've changed. It's just the roadie run as well. That's been in since Gears War 1. Like they've changed like the sprinting. So it's like it's gonna be interesting because we don't know what's going to be good. We don't know if it's gonna. It feels like it might be good for like strafing, just walking back and forwards again instead of just spamming the wall bounce like Gears 5. So I mean, who knows? It's a case of just wait and see how the game feels. When that beta drops, I guarantee you, we're going to be testing it. We're gonna be testing every movement tech to the limit, see what we can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, in like, so one of the things I wanted to ask you, because you're someone who plays consistently Gears 5, as we've been kind of waiting, or just like Gears 5, Gears of War 4, you're just consistently playing the games. And so you have a really good pulse on certain things that are happening in like let's just say, for example, with Gears 5, where we have, the single stick movement. Are things like this going to be something that we see in E-Day, which it's like, I mean, it's not even really possible. It doesn't seem, but we haven't got our hands on the game yet. I think one of the things that's important, Clutchy, that we should talk about is some of the different movements, that what we talk about, like single stick, might be something that people don't really know about in the
Yeah.
chat and stuff. What you want to explain, like for example, single stick, and could stuff like this, because we're going to be, like you said, really trying to figure out a lot of different things when the beta comes out, in terms of learning ways we can manipulate the gameplay. You know what I'm saying? Or like just different things that, help you get a little bit of an advantage, or whatever it might be. So I guess let's start with single stick, dude. And the single stick movement. Um, like, you want to go ahead and explain it to the chat, And is this something that, or something similar to this, that we could maybe see in Gears of War E-Day?
So the way single stick works is it's meant to be like a disability and like a aid to help people who only have like one hand or missing fingers or like a missing thumb. And what it essentially does is, if I get my controller real quick, alright, is you can look left and right by, if you're standing still, like your left stick, it'll make you look left and right. But walking forward, you can also move forwards and backwards with that stick. But the issue with single stick is it doesn't disable your right stick. And that's where the problem comes in with people having two thumbs using single stick, because it alters the way your bounce works, how you attach to walls, it alters your camera, because if you don't move your camera, it auto centers it for you. And all you have to do is keep someone in the center of your screen. You don't have to do anything else because the game's going to automatically center it for you. And if you're sliding into a cover, the game's going to automatically center that screen for you, so you get the perfect shot when you're coming off that cover. Now,
Well, it's kind of like it kind of almost, it locks the camera, and it kind of like prevents like jumps while you're wall bouncing and stuff like
yeah,
that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Go ahead.
it's like that combined with classic ult, which is where you can, like, the standard Gears of War control scheme default is A button for roll, and A button for your run, and A button for your cover. With classic ult, that changes your roll and your run to X, and your cover button is only A. So that way you can spam A, and you will never roll. That's pretty broken, me personally. It means you can get away with a lot of other stuff that you wouldn't be able to normally get away with other games. But that combined with single stick, and you're making any random player look like a professional movement player.
And so is this something that with E-Day, that, do you think that this is something that's going to come back, or do you think it's going to be, what's your general sentiment on this kind of, having this type of, button layout essentially?
So single stick, it could come back because it's what it was at its core. It's meant to be an accessibility option, and putting that in and then removing it could be frowned upon from a PR point of view, because there might be players that do use it for the intended reason. Much that be the very small amount of Gears players that actually do it.
Right.
But that's what its intended purpose is for. However, if they make it so single stick actually disables one of the sticks, it could make it more fair and like less likely to be abused. So if they do that, maybe it could work. But me personally, I actually just want it gone, because if you're a Gears of War player and you actually have said disability, you've most likely found a way to overcome that with other games. So it's an iffy situation.
Yeah, so it's a little bit touchy. Well, would you say that it's a little bit touchy, like that's the general sentiment that you're kind of feeling around the community, or I should say, like, maybe the montage community specifically, that it's a little bit, it's a touchy subject, or are people, does it seem like players like it a lot, they want it to come back, or they don't like it at all and they're like, do not bring this shit back?
In the community, it's very frowned upon for using single stick. There
Right.
are, I'm not going to say which pro player, but there is a pro player that uses it, and he has done since he's been playing LANs, and he's known for the movement. But the thing is, it makes it very, very easy. So you've got people who are actually good at movement without using single stick, and they're just like, oh, okay, I've just died because this person's using single stick, and he can focus more on aiming because the movement is really simple for that one part. And you've got everyone being able to move like a demon because they've got this one setting on when they don't actually need it. So it's it is making a lot of people upset about it because, well,
It's kind of like abusing mechanics, kind of, that weren't necessarily intended for everyone or whatever. Well, let me ask you about this. Um, the the other thing that's a little bit interesting that's been talked about quite a bit in the community is the alternate control scheme within Gears 5, specifically, um, where the essentially alternate guys, for those of you, and Clutchy probably can explain it like way better than I can, but like essentially alternate is going to map like roadie run and rolling to the X button, and then cover wall bouncing to the A button. And so, do you play alternate, by the way?
I actually do.
Okay. So all right, what, like, because I've usually, I got really into playing tournament. And
Yeah.
well, I played a number of different like control schemes, but like, what are your thoughts on like the debate right now around alternate and that control scheme specifically for what could be coming with Gears of War E-Day?
I mean, without knowing what the movement is like on E-Day, just by looking at what we got, I don't actually think your control scheme, just from what we've seen, is actually going to matter.
Why?
Because you've got sliding, you've got the jump. I mean, there could be a chance that these control schemes won't even be in there because you've got to think you've only got a certain amount of buttons on a controller. How are you going to have all these buttons to these different mechanics? Because I assume slide is going to be like B when you're sprinting, but it's like how many kind of like buttons can you
And
change?
you think A would be what, like, to A would be to slide into cover, or
Yeah,
and then it would be A would be to mantle, A would be to climb up, probably. I mean, is that
yeah, that's what I think. Your A button is to do everything to do with like climbing,
right?
because
Right.
when Marcus jumps across one of the gaps, it looks like I don't think it's a free jump, as in that you can't jump just randomly. It looks as if it's just
Right.
a jump to get across a gap.
Mhm.
So that could be like, oh, okay. So like when you're in cover, you kind of like push up on your left thumbstick, and it gives you like the little up arrow to mantle over it. So it could be something similar to that. Um, but alternate's been in since Gears of War 2. That's when they first brought the alternate control scheme in. And
Yeah.
but since in Gears 2 it was very simple. It was just a case of it just swapped your Rudy run and your roll to X. That's all it did. You, your you still grabbed covers the same way. However, I think it's when you hit Gears 4, your control scheme changed how you were hitting each cover. It's like the cones of the cover changed slightly because you could hit it at
Yeah.
different angles that you weren't meant to, because normally you would roll before. But now, because you can't roll, you're hitting that cover every single time.
Right. 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 Yeah. It's really interesting. I want to bring some of you guys, from the chat. I want to bring some of you guys in. D Parks, what is up, brother? Cougat, what is up? Jackal Tenebris, what's up, brother? How you doing? Lego Batman, what's up, my man? Brent Portwood, what's up? Sebastian, how's it going, homie? Dude, you guys, the Butte. Oh, dude, the Butte. My hey, by the way, I gotta give a shout out to the Butte. I've been watching a couple of the Butte's videos. We might have to talk sometime, Butte. Appreciate you being here, brother. MD Ultra, what's up, homie? Dude, Elusives, what's up, man? I will. I want to. I want to. We got a comment here. Jamie from Jackal Tenebris. I hope they have anti cheat on Gears of War E-Day. I hope they also sort out the menu glitch on Gears E-Day. Okay, I want to, this is interesting. We need to talk about, I mean, they better have some kind of anti cheat, I'm hoping, but like,
$100.
let's talk about the cheating a little bit here, because I think that that's something that needs to be talked about. And I think that certainly a great way to test your servers and shit. Well, not servers, but like a great way to test the anti cheat would be I mean, obviously, when you have the beta come out, right? I feel like a good way to like let me pick your brain here. When the beta releases, let's say they've got like a ranking system in the
Yeah.
beta, right? And let's say it's pretty grindy to get there. Like it's going to take some time. There might be people who are like, dude, I don't want to wait around to, there might be people who are like, dude, I'm just going to try to, like, can we get around this? Can we cheat or whatever to figure out ways to do that? We see this all the time with like Call of Duty. Call
Yeah.
of Duty betas get, there's hackers in there, there's cheaters and all kinds of stuff, even in just the betas. So, what do you think about what would you? Obviously, we don't want cheating to become a problem. Um, it's going to happen, but it's how the coalition addresses it. What do you think would be a really good system for the coalition going into Gears of War E-Day? And let's just say the beta. What do you think would be a good system, like kind of handling the cheaters as they, kind of start coming into the game?
I think the best way for it is to simply just have it so if you're obviously you get people cheating on console, but if you just have whenever you load up Gears E-Day, the first thing it does is it'll take a few extra minutes, but it just checks through your files. And if there's anything in there that's not meant to be how it is, your game won't launch.
Yeah.
Because that's what it does with Valorant. Although people can bypass that. It can be bypassed, but then if they detect cheating after and someone reports them, they instantly just boom, you're gone.
Gone. Valorant has a great system, by the
Very
way.
good.
They don't not only a good anti-cheat, they've got a good ranking system. Now, I haven't played Valorant in a little while, but when I was playing it, dude, they have an awesome ranking system. But anyways, I would love to see like we'll get to that, but yeah, continue.
The issue with Gears 5 is not necessarily the people who are obviously cheating, but like the aim bots or like the one-shot downs or like the insane rapid-fire lancers. It's the people who alter their files to give themselves an extra 5% in like tighter spread or a extra 10% damage per pellet hit on their shotgun. It's the people who slightly do it and pretend they are good at the game. That's what irks me. They're like, oh no, I'm just really good. I know how to play the game really well. I was like, do you though? Because
Yeah.
they can fool some newer players, but someone like myself and like BFL and other people who have played the game day in day out, we get shot. We can tell straight away. It's like that doesn't add up.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel that cheating was a huge issue in Gears 5? Or would you say it was an issue, but like for kind of give you I guess when I was when I look at the grand scope landscape of gaming, I mean, I hear so much about the cheating in Call of Duty. Like
Yeah.
unlike any like I mean most games out there. I mean, it is a major issue. Gears 5 definitely had this issue. I mean, we had an issue. What I'm curious about, dude, is how bad of an issue do you think Gears 5 was when it comes to cheating? And I guess like the grand scope of things based on like how many people were playing the game and things of that nature. What was your experience like?
I mean, it comes to the point where I don't know whether I get shit on or whether the person is cheating anymore. That's just the thing. I get killed in the Gears. I actually have to look at it and go, okay, did he cheat or did I just get slammed? That's
Right.
kind of a sad thing because I want to be able to just be like, oh no, this guy just beat me, he's better than me. But the fact that I'm questioning it and it's every single death, it's not like a case of I got like an ego, because I do have a little bit of an ego, like, but it's like
Right.
it's just a case of I shouldn't be having to think about that every time I play the game, just because and I think it is this generation, because it's across nearly every game out there that has a multiplayer. Just cheating as a whole on console, on PC, Nintendo Switch, whatever, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And I think developers just need to spend time and just invest in any sort of anti-cheat. Just full on, just use a decent amount of the budget to invest in a good anti-cheat, because that's what's ruining games.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I mean, it's definitely a huge. I would say that at large, cheating, hacking, things of that nature, wall hacks, whatever it is, um, have been a part of gaming for pretty much forever. I
Yeah,
mean, it really, like, if you think about it, it kind of started with the cheat codes, like in GTA and stuff. You
yeah,
know, it kind of like
like
it
GTA San
stemmed.
Andreas as far.
Right. Where you had there were just things, and people were like, "Oh, this is so cool," and then like it kind of enticed certain people to want to start cheating in other games. But it's like, well, there's not cheat codes in this, and so, anyways, I don't know exactly how it all started, guys. I'm not saying like I'm a historian on how cheating started, but like I what I'm saying is that it's been a major issue in gaming in general. There's some companies that have done an incredible job kind of battling it or just like banning people who are doing it or whatever. Others have been very slow to do these things, and it's just, they don't have the proper systems in place and things of that nature, and it can ruin the game. I mean, it can ruin games literally for people. And when we say like ruining the games, we're more or less talking about multiplayer, that being like PvP modes, more than anything else. I mean, like, that's what really kind of just fucks with the vibes when you're playing against, you're getting into lobbies, and whether you might not know if they're cheating, or like sometimes it's blatantly obvious, in certain games. And so, anyways, um if anyone from the coalition is watching this, um what would you say, Clutchy, it would be a really good anti-cheat system that would be like be one that they could, that being the coalition, could kind of look at, or maybe they have their own system that they're coming up with, but maybe something that they could do that could help uh lessen the storm of some, people out there that are going to inevitably try to cheat on Gears of War E-Day.
I think stepping away from easy anti-cheat would be a good thing, but unfortunately, I know someone who does create hacks and cheats, and they've done that for Gears 5, and they're already looking into it for E-Day, and they said they've already got a program up and running that couldn't work on E-Day,
Yeah.
because apparently
Uh,
it's using the same anti-cheat as Gears 5.
is it? Wait, is that confirmed?
Apparently so. Apparently it's still using easy anti-cheat, which
Wow.
they've not come out and said it themselves, but that's what this person is saying. And to be honest, I'm gonna trust them because they're the
Yeah.
ones who make the cheats. So if they're
What? But is easy anti-cheat? That's the same anti-cheat
Apex,
that's used for like Fortnite and shit, right?
yeah, Fortnite and
In Rocket
Apex.
League. Okay. That's interesting. Hmm. I Yeah. Do you think that the easy anti-cheat, what do you think about it versus, say, other anti-cheats out there?
I think it's okay, but that's just it. It's okay. It's very mediocre. It's very much a, oh, it's like a, it's not a preventative. It's more actionable. It's, oh wait, this person is, you need to, this person needs reporting about 20 or so times for them to even start looking into it. I want an anti-cheat that prevents them to even starting the game. I want it to make it as
Hmm.
like I want it to make it as hard as possible for them to even get access to the game. Whether it's
Right.
IP bans, whether it's just file checks, or another thing is having trusted streamers. Like, and I mean when I say trusted streamers, actually trusted streamers who play the games a lot and actually have a good mindset about them, don't have an ego. And if they go, oh wait, this person might be sus, they can email Coalition and they can look into it and have a bit more say with that. Like someone in the community And like that Butte says, being something that Vanguard, which loads of kernel drivers and systems startups scans of cheats, absolutely. If they could ask Vanguard for their anti cheat, that'd be great.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm with you. I think, I mean, look, there's always going to be someone who is able to get in and get past all the, the fucking rigmarole and shit. And they're able to figure out ways to kind of just ruin the game for others. And, there is no place really for cheating in my mind, when it comes to AAA game. I mean, just game development in general, dude, unless a game is specifically made to be like modded and all this crazy shit. And, you start doing like whatever, but like there it's just like, dude, do you feel good about yourself?
Yeah,
Like, I
it's like
mean, like, dude, like you feel good about yourself. Oh yeah, I'm like, it's I just I don't know, dude. It's a really odd situation to me. And I personally, dude, it really it should not be uh something that is widely happening, and especially games like Call of Duty. And I know that Call of Duty has like a massive audience, massive fan base, and like lots of people play it. But it's like, dude, the amount of cheating
yeah,
apparently going on in Call of Duty is outrageous. And Ricochet, that anti cheat is, from everything I've heard, bro, it is way fucking worse than like the easy anti cheat. Like it's way worse apparently. I don't know if it's gotten any better. I have not played COD in a little while. So it but regardless, I'm hoping that them working with, because the easy anti-cheat I believe is made by Epic Games, or is it's something like that?
I
It's
think
like a
so.
I believe it's Epic Games. Um, and guys, those of you guys who are joining us, hey, I love you guys, man, for sure. Nico, what's up, brother? This is Clutchy. For those of you who have never watched Clutchy on Twitch, this guy's been absolutely crushing it with. He creates tons and tons of content. You've even been playing some of the new Halo. What did you think? What do you think of the new Halo?
Uh, I mean, I haven't played Campaign Evolved yet. I'm excited to get onto that. But
Yeah,
recently been playing. I grew up on Halo. I mean, I have a Halo poster back there.
yeah.
I grew up on
Oh,
that
wait a minute. You
franchise.
you haven't been playing Campaign Evolved? I feel
Not
like you
yet.
were. Oh,
No,
not
I
yet.
want to.
Okay.
I want to get involved in that. Um, but from what I've seen, that looks really, really good. Like the fact
Yeah.
that that's how I'm gonna says that's how Reloaded should have been treated because they took an old classic,
Mm.
changed it very slightly for the modern audience. That'd be you've now got, instead of having 2-player co-op campaign, you've got 4-player co-op campaign, which is cross-play between, like, I believe it's cross-play as well because I think you've got like I saw for some like Steam and like Xbox being able to play together as well. And
Yeah.
then
Right.
even the current levels, like those levels have been changed. So like the levels flow differently and flow better.
Right. Do you so what do you think there's going to be cross progression
For
where so what I mean by that, guys, is like, say if we play the campaign together cooperatively, or if we play by ourselves, um every time we play the campaign, it ranks us up. And then when we play Horde, it's also ranking us up. And then we play multiplayer, it also ranks us up. So it's like you have like this cross progression system that we had like at Gears of War 3, which I thought was incredible. Do you think that's something that we could maybe see here?
that would be cool if they bring that back. You know, like an arcade mode for campaign again. Um, so for multiplayer and horde, I assume you'll have your. Well, we don't know if there's going to be horde classes because, but no, there is horde classes, right? Because there's like gunner, like marksman and stuff like that. So maybe each class has their own level, like Gears 5 and Gears 4. But then you have like your own overall level, like the re-ups as far as maybe the leveling system works the same as like it did on Gears 5. So you have like your overall level and then your individual levels for your horde classes as far.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting. it's gonna be I'm really excited about it. I think it's gonna be really cool. Whatever kind of direction we got, going on with like cross progression and things of that nature, it's gonna be fascinating. But um I wanna move into this, man. I mean, I love that, all you guys have been joining us. Um it's Dude, we're getting closer to the beta first and foremost. And this thing I want to talk about here with you, Clutchy, is we got a little bit of some news, and I'm curious to kind of pick your brain about this because it's been pretty quiet on the Gears of War E-Day end right now, and we got some news in relation to another game that's coming out a couple of weeks after Gears of War E-Day, and that's the new Call of Duty. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 is going to be having its first gameplay debut from Fanatics Fest in New York. And apparently, a bunch of creators and streamers are going to be going out to Fanatics Fest in New York to play the game and test the game out and all of that stuff. And I wanted to ask you: do you think Gears of War E-Day is going to do something like this? As we get closer and things start getting kind of ramped up. I don't know if they're probably not planning anything between now and the actual beta coming out, but between the beta to launch and stuff, do you think they do anything like what they're doing with Call of Duty?
I can hope, but I also don't think Gears of War is big enough to do that anymore.
Hmm.
I just don't think it's big enough as a franchise to do that. Gears of War 4, like coming off of Gears of War, like the other Gears of Wars, Gears of War 4, they were able to do whatever they want. They had esports and everything, man. Like they could do whatever
Yeah.
they wanted, but I want to say yes, but deeply, I don't think they'll do anything. Like they're being so quiet. I just don't think anything's going to happen now.
What do you think they're going to start ramping things up here shortly for
I, rec-
as we
I, rec-
as we get closer to the beta?
I think they might start teasing a few things, but like, oh hey, look out for this, or oh hey, have you seen this, or like little snippets, just to try and tease us a little bit. But I don't think they're going to give us anything major.
Yeah.
But it might be. I don't want them to spoil too much because when the game comes out, I still want to sort of it to be a shock and a surprise.
Of course, yeah.
But it's like maybe that's why they're being quiet. Maybe they've already shown a lot of the game. So I'm like in two different minds. I'm like, okay, maybe they're being quiet because they've shown a lot, or maybe they're being quiet because they're about to show some more.
You know what, dude? I want to. Okay, before we kind of move on with this, it kind of, as you were talking, it kind of got me to like think about something, and I want to go back here for a second to what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about single stick. We were talking about alternate, right?
Yeah,
I want to talk. I want to ask you something because this is something, dude, that we've been talking a lot about on like the Gears cast and on the shows is about the differences that we're seeing now when it comes to Gears of War E-Day, like just from movement to everything. We've talked a lot about how
I'm in
we
you.
feel it would be good for them to have less modes at launch to make it so that everybody's kind of like the whole community is in like one of a few modes, like say what I should say the beta, definitely like a few modes during the beta and then maybe a few more modes when we get to launch, like not having so many different modes. So I want to ask you this about like the different control schemes and things of that nature. Do you think that they should narrow it down to like, I don't know, a few different control schemes? Or do you think they should still do you think that they should have more control schemes or less when we get to E-Day?
I think the control schemes should be the same. However, I think the control remapping shouldn't be a thing for Gears 5. Because if you didn't know, Gears 5, you can change any one of your buttons to do a different thing. So, I could change my B button to be like, I don't know, shoot, if I wanted to. But I think they shouldn't.
You're saying they should have. There should be. You're saying there should be preset
Yes.
control schemes. There
Yes.
should not be a control scheme where you can manipulate it however you want.
Yeah, I think you should just be given preset control schemes and you get used to that control scheme. So then try and make everything as fair and even leveled as possible. Because if you have people doing like, I mean that's how I put it, that's how macros have been working. Because a lot of people, if you didn't know, is with like your Cronus Zen, if you map your right trigger to your A button as far, if you just hold your A button, it will just go boom, 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 and keep firing off your A button. So you can just spam that like and it becomes a macro, and I can spam that to wall bounce for that. So removing control remapping helps towards that as well, and it means everyone isn't perfect at the game. Everyone's slightly off, which has always been a good thing for Gears of War, because even the pro players aren't perfect. They still mess up. But Gears 5,
sure.
everyone is perfect with the movement because they've got the controls to exactly the way they like it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've kind of, I use, you know, like I said, I've over time now, I've been, you know, tournaments been my shit, but who knows? With E-Day, it might totally change. It's hard to say. We got Extra Father in here. What is up, Extra Father?
Hey.
The game launches in 3 damn months. Let's fucking go, dude. Hell yeah, man. Overrun 2.0. Hey, we've talked a lot about we've talked about Overrun 2.0 a lot. Would you like some stuff would you like to see Overrun return?
Oh, dude, Overrun was the most fun PvE mode ever. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely. Don't know, I liked Horde, but Overrun was so good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, dude. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. We'll see what kind of happens here. I want to talk about this, dude. There was an Xbox dev boss. We don't know. I don't know if we have confirmation of who it was that said this, but apparently Xbox is pretty divided on its direction. I kind of want to like shift gears here a little bit, guys, where in a way we you know, this is relevant to Gears of War because this Xbox boss or Xbox dev boss alluded to Gears of War in a way by stating that Xbox is divided on its direction as like a company, and he stated that we're chasing a declining market with franchises that are past their prime. And specifically, when I think of what he's talking about there, I mean, the 2 games that come to mind are Gears of War and Halo.
Yeah.
And man, dude, the way that, you know, I gotta, one of the things I've got to say, dude, you know, in the bottom of my fucking heart, bro, is I completely fucking disagree. And I'll tell you why. Because, yeah, we've been in a like, dude, hey, you know, Clutchy, I don't know what your thoughts on Gears of War. I don't know what your thoughts are on like Gears 5 and you know, some of these the newer Gears of War titles, but regardless of what people feel about the games, whether you really like them or you don't like them at all or whatever, the reality is and the facts are the facts. And the facts are, dude, is that we've been in a pretty dark spot for a number of years, especially after Gears 5, you know, like they stopped servicing the game and then, you know, esports shuts down. We have like, you know, it was hard because we didn't know where we were going as a franchise. And although we were in the trenches, we were in the depths of fucking despair, essentially, it felt like at times. The reality is that all it takes is one game for you to go into a dark age of a franchise. But all it takes is one game to go back to the glory years of a franchise. And you can look at so many fucking, I mean, okay, I shouldn't say so many, but you can look at a number of different franchises with the peaks and the fucking valleys and all the, like, through all the bullshit, dude. if you believe in like a franchise, if a community buys in, and we have a community, Jamie, we have a fucking community here that has bought into Gears of War because they've been here through the bullshit and the great times. Some people have, are here who are newer. Some have been here from the beginning. Some have been here at some point along the journey. But the reality is, dude, is that, and I'm gonna stick up for the fucking Halo community here too, man. Halo's been in a tough spot too.
Like
But
Infinite.
yeah, and like honestly, dude, like Infinite to me was not yes, I didn't like the direction they went with, like, the campaign, and there were just certain decisions that they made that I didn't really like. The multiplayer, I actually liked it for a while. I have not played it in a long time, so I don't know what it's like now. I liked watching the esports stuff. It was a lot of fun to watch, but they, regardless of whether, if I liked it or I hated it or whatever, the reality is that Halo is not in the best spot either. They're not in the best
Oh.
fucking spot. And so, similar to us, the truth though is, guys, make no mistake about it, is that yes, you might have a game or a couple of games that take you into a really bad spot. Look no further than Call of Duty, guys, a franchise that I have followed for so long, dude. You have Call of Duty was on this like unbelievable high as you went from like COD 4 to Modern Warfare 2, and Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, MW3, and even Call of Duty Ghosts. And then once they got to Call of Duty Ghosts, they changed course and they went into the jetpack era. And
Yeah.
they changed everything fundamentally about Call of Duty, kind of chasing Titanfall and stuff. And yes, you could say that, hey, dude, they're trying different stuff. They needed change. And I agreed at the time. They did need change. And they did it with Advanced Warfare, where I feel like they made the mistake was they doubled down on it by making 2 more games with jetpacks. Like Advanced Warfare, for what it was, I was like, cool, dude. But like they doubled down on it and whatever. And I felt like they went into a dark age of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And whatever, they've been trying to kind of work their way out of it, and they've had peaks, valleys. Black Ops 7 was a big miss apparently for Xbox and for Activision. And so, anyways, dude, I guess all in all, what I am saying is that there were great games in our franchise that is Gears of War, and there were games that were not as great. And whether we personally really like them or not, the facts are the fucking facts. And so it's like all it takes is one game, in my opinion. I want to hear, like, what do you think, dude? Like, do you, when you're hearing stuff, it kind of pisses me off, to be quite honest with you, because I feel like you took a shot at my favorite franchise, and part of it is true. Like that we're like, part of it's true, but part of it is like, no, dude, all it takes is one fucking game to get us back. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, Gears of War 1, incredible for its time. It started the franchise, incredible. Gears of War 2 is just Gears of War 1, but better in every single direction. I mean, Gears of War 2 is still, to this day, the best-selling Gears of War today. Like 6.5 million copies from that was sold. And, like, obviously, Gears of War 3 is probably the most favourite one in terms of multiplayer. And then Judgment happened. I personally don't mind Judgment. I like all of the Gears games, just some more than others. I don't think there is a bad Gears game. I just think there's Gears games that are better than the other ones.
I agree. Yep, that's great.
And Judgment hurt the community a lot. But then Gears 4 happened. Well, Ultimate Edition happened. That brought some of the old heads back. TC's first Gears was Ultimate Edition. Brought some of the old heads back. Gears 4 happened, and it brought the community back up again. And it started bringing the money back in for Gears 4.
Yep.
And technically, in some ways, that was an issue, because the esports side of things, the amount of money that Microsoft were putting into it, they weren't making that much from it, because they were putting in so much to keep the hype up for Gears 4, and putting all the money out, like the $1 million winnings and stuff like that. but they weren't making the money to match that. So it was always just kind of just the same thing. They were putting it in, but then making the exact same amount. And obviously, Gears 5's launch. The game launched in a pretty bad state.
You guys have a Prime? Slap that Prime on the table like a big fucking cock.
It was rough.
Show everybody that you have a
It
big
was a
fucking
rough
dick
launch.
today and
And
slap
you know
that
what, dude?
Prime on the fucking table
actually
right
Father makes
now.
a really good point. He said, I definitely think Gears 5 is the worst Gears game, but it isn't a terrible game. That's fucking, in my opinion, dude, I agree with the sentiment that like it's not like we define like Gears of War is our favorite franchise, right? So we are going to judge Gears of War on this pedestal. Like it's on Mount Rushmore for gaming. And so it's like you're going to get judged harder than some of these other, you know, maybe other franchises that we play because we're just very passionate about this franchise. And so the reality is that Gears 5 was like when you look at it visually, incredibly looking and like there was just a lot of there were things about like there were things about it that you know maybe some people who have never if I never played Gears of War before and I start playing it, I'm like, this is actually, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I mean, you know, I don't know, you know, you don't know really much about like the characters and things of that like that nature if you're just jumping into it, like that's your first Gears ever. But like there were just, you know, there were things that I really liked about each of the Gears of War games that we've had up to this point, and there's things that I did not like. And I think that we are going to nitpick Gears of War because it's our favorite franchise. You nitpick the greats. You know, the greatest soccer players, the greatest football players in the world, they get like you nitpick them because it's like they are as good as they are. It's like, you know, and then you have like think about it, dude, all of the debates about Messi versus Ronaldo and Pele and Mbappe and all these like guys and like, you know, talking about like some of the greats ever, there you start nitpicking them like, oh, this guy didn't win as many championships as this guy. And so like with Gears of War, we think like we just nitpick it because it's like, it's our favorite game and we want it to be fucking great all the time. And so anyways, kind of going on like, you know, I'm starting to get fucking hot up in here, dude. Like, and I know you're hot over there too.
Oh yeah, it's
oh
warm
my
right
God.
now.
Oh my God, bro. Yeah, it's so anyways, yeah, dude, being in South Carolina right now, it's like it's a little bit of a melting pot. I got the AC going, guys, don't worry, but yeah, it's crazy. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add to that, dude, in relation to, you know, the you know, not all the Gears of War games are, you know, they're not all equal. They're not all like, I think that is it fair to say that there's things that you can take from every single Gears of War and say, yeah, that's really good, or hey, that's really bad. But like, this is our fucking franchise, dude.
Like, there are bits and pieces on each game that like people don't like Judgment and probably might be one of the most hated games. But I liked the verticality in the maps. I liked being able to like drop off at the top of like some like skyscraper and drop down on someone's shotgun in their face. You know what I mean? It was fun. The game was fun. Was it competitive? Probably not. But that's one thing they need to focus on with E-Day, because a lot of people are asking, is esports coming back? Me personally, I don't want it to come back for E-Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Make Gears of War fun again before making it competitive.
That's a fucking bar right there, dude.
Like,
hey, dude, I'm fucking with you 100%. So you're saying like throughout the entirety of Gears of War E-Day's timeline, you don't want esports in this game. You want it in maybe the next one.
if they can
like build momentum and then go from there.
Initially, I'm thinking build momentum from this game, you know, get people hyped about Gears of War again, and then say for Gears 6 or whatever they call the next game, bring it back in for then, because then you've got a good idea on what people like, what people don't like, and like if you've got like a brand new movement system, you
Yeah.
don't want to bring esports to that, because then you're making it too competitive. You're making people like try hard too much, and that's not a good thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I like try harding in games, and with a ranked system. I'm running a 4-stack on Edo. Like, get out of here. As a ranked system, I'm running a 4-stack. But I can see that's not fun for others. I
Yeah.
know that, and we need to tone it down. We need to make the game fun, but we need to make the game like competitive to keep bringing people back. So
Yeah, we were, it's interesting, dude. Extra Father, myself, and Starspawn were on an episode of the Gears Cast together, and we talked about this. And actually, Extra and I, we've talked about it a lot, dude. We've talked about a lot of this stuff, like kind of in depth. But you talk about making it fun again before really making it like super ultra competitive and
yeah,
stuff. We were talking about how this has to be this is an opportunity potentially for it to be more about like more about content than competition. Like it's an opportunity where maybe the competition comes later because we know ranked is coming. I mean, ranked's
yeah,
coming, so it's like okay, maybe like who like we don't know where it's all going, right? But this is an opportunity to kind of bring Gears of War back from a content perspective because obviously we already have some of the former pro players or some of the biggest creators right now in the world when it comes to Gears of War. So it's like, bro, um, like, I mean, is this fucking shit on? I mean, it's like, bro, like if creators, or I should say, former pro players,
yeah,
are now creating content, building brands around themselves, they keep doing that shit, and they don't do scrims. They don't need to fuck with having this crazy schedule right away, and they can build brands around themselves. And then guess what?
exactly.
Rank comes out, and then maybe they start doing some like local tournaments or whatever, and then the pros start playing, and they build a brand. They have started to build a brand around themselves, and those fans want to watch them compete at the highest level. Now we're talking.
Yeah,
We're kind of going back to square one, bro, with Gears of War as we know it. It's kind of a fresh start for all of us because it's all new movement. We're all on square one. There's nothing, I mean, certainly people have played Gears of War in the past are going to have maybe a little bit of an advantage over someone who's brand fucking new. But at the same time, there's going to be new, like, you were talking about Richie earlier, or Moo Moo Milk. You were talking about like there's going to be new legends born
oh, absolutely.
from E-Day, from fucking E-Day. There's new legends that are coming, dude. We don't even know who they are yet. There's
No.
going to be new legends. There's going to be people who have been here who are going to blow the fuck up. Like there's something happening here that is, in my mind, it's special. And I think that we're on this we're on this journey, dude. We're on this ride together. But I gotta tell you that pretty much everything you just said, I fucking totally agree with. We've got to, I think it's got to be about content, dude. Because I even was telling Extra, is GTA 6 going to be about content or competition?
It's gonna
And
be
it's like, well,
content.
dude, there's no competition. I mean, unless you want to talk about like GTA Online, but it's like, I mean, unless they make that like competitive, which I
Yeah,
mean, I don't, whatever. But like, I look at it and I say to myself, this has to be content first. And then, yeah, and like you said, fun first, then competitive. That's a fucking bar, dude. Guys, yo, go check out
like,
Clutchy, guys. Go like this guy's obviously spitting bars like on the Gears Cast. So now we like he's probably doing that every day in his chats and shit. So like, no, that was awesome, dude. That's fucking incredible. Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
I I wouldn't be opposed to small tournaments being held, because I'm not sure if people remember, but Esport Rivals, I used to help
Yeah.
run that.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was
That's
one
cool.
of the 3 people that owned it.
Nice.
And I mean, being like community hosted tournaments would be cool for E-Day, but if they have anything that's like huge, like major. Like, I don't want like the major esports to come, but maybe like one, or so maybe like one of like the Gears of War Emergence days. If you remember the back in the day, you had like the E-Day tournaments,
Right.
something like that. It's like a smaller tournament. That would be pretty cool. Because we don't know how long E-Day is going to last. It maybe lasts 2 years maximum until we think about a new game. Maybe we don't know how with the season, because it was like what 5 seasons was that, and it's like
Well, yeah. So they announced. Well, I mean, it shows on the a roadmap 5 seasons, and in those 5 seasons, who knows what all is going to get. I mean, the reality is, dude, is I hope we get more than 5 seasons, but at least they announced 5.
yeah,
Like, what I mean? It could have been. I was telling the guys, it could have been so much worse. They could have announced 1.
yeah.
And it's like, fuck, dude, we only have 1.
So we get to the
You
end of the
know?
season, we're like, oh yeah, are we gonna get another one announced or what? It's
Right,
like,
exactly. Like, are we already like, don't tell me we're already moving on to like E-Day 2 or,
Yeah.
Gears of War 2 Reloaded or some shit. Like already, like, yo, we need this to like they need to be locked in on this one. Like, this is it, dude. This is all we got, dude, is E-Day. Fucking knock this shit out of the park. We'll do our thing. They got to do their thing and then go from there. Bro, you guys have been going crazy in the chat, dude. I fucking love you guys. You guys are fucking awesome. Got some other people coming in here. Let's see. We've got NTG Jaguar. What is up, brother? How's everything going? Holy shit. Ian Heyman, what's up, Ian? How's it going, dude? Ouija Strike, my man. All right, I said, yeah. What's up? What's up again, Ouija Strike? How we doing? I've said it before, I'll say it again. This has to be the most beginner-friendly Gears game we've seen, and here we are, guys. Yeah, Extra Father, he's right, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
it has to be. This has to be, and I mean, it looks like it very well could be. I mean, they're making so many changes, and it has to be. We have to have Gears of War has to be almost like not remade, but kind of like reintroduced to a new generation, but with changes that are, hopefully fundamentally going to be great. I'm just hoping that like it's not one of those things where we get to E-Day and it's like, fuck, dude, these controls suck.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to put that bad juju out there at all, but like, I just want us to, it needs to be the most beginner friendly game. It needs to, there's so many different things that we need this to be for it to be like great. But from what we see so far, holy shit, dude, the graphics, the fucking tone. I mean, brothers and sisters in Gears, let me tell you, this shit looks fucking lit. I mean, it looks like it could be something really fucking special. So anyways, like we're fucking close. I want to talk about this, dude. This, and it's kind of funny, dude, because all this is kind of like tying in. So there was a report that came out. I don't know if it's true, guys. We don't know. Okay. Like these are all speculation. It's all a bunch of, whatever, unless there's been very recent things that have come out. But apparently, there's a report that came out that Xbox is considering moving Halo to Activision. And why this relates to Gears of War is what I want to ask the question and kind of just get people kind of like talking about here is, do we believe that Gears of War will stay kind of just, obviously the coalition is the fucking coalition. And they've even said, dude, they literally said, Xbox stated, the coalition is the technological backbone of Xbox.
Yeah.
That's a fucking mic drop right there. They're the fucking technological backbone of Xbox. That's incredible. But the question I want to like kind of ask, because Halo is run by Halo Studios, or like the developer is Halo Studios.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if like, could we see Gears of War move into I don't know, a bigger publisher, or not even so much. I mean, yeah, like it's kind of hard to explain. It's like, would they move the coalition to maybe not Activision, but do you see this happening with uh kind of the obviously we don't even know if this is even true, first of all, but if it is, let's just kind of let's play it like Halo's eventually going to move into Activision
Mhm.
for more resource or help with development. Maybe they want to start making a bunch of Halo games, a Halo game every year, some crazy shit like they're doing with Call of Duty. Could you see them ever doing this with Gears, where they move us?
Maybe, but it could work because it could bring extra funding to them, but they could also enforce. The thing is, if they do take Halo to Activision, it might not be great because Activision are not very good in terms of being a publisher. They like to enforce very strict deadlines.
Yeah.
But if they decide to do that, it could mean E-Day's also the same thing. But I want E-Day to stay under Microsoft's. I want it to be Microsoft's baby, because Gears of War is Xbox. I mean, it's what made the Xbox 360 increase its RAM size. That's what Gears of War 1 did. They increased the RAM size for the 360. The Xbox One launched with Gears of War 4. They've made Xboxes for Gears of War. And it would be very, very strange if they decide to let that go. However, I can't say I can't see it. So maybe, hopefully not, because it's just other publishers. I don't really trust them.
Let me ask you this. Is Halo still technically, I mean, because when we look at the numbers and everything else, people will say that Halo is the flagship IP for Xbox. Is
Yeah.
Gears of War becoming that, though? Could it become that with E-Day? Because obviously we see this emphasis on, Gears of War E-Day became the direct for Xbox here. There's a huge emphasis. I mean, they're like, this is a console exclusive. And they, they're leaning into Gears of War quite a bit now, as like this is like they're hoping this is the biggest Xbox game of the year, maybe outside of Call of Duty, because obviously Xbox owns Call of Duty now.
Yeah.
But I mean, if E-Day sniffs the numbers Call of Duty can do, I mean, dude, bro.
That'd be incredible.
We're on our fucking way, brother. But do you think that Halo is still looked at as kind of like the flagship? Because I think that the three flagships, at least in my mind, when I think of Xbox, I think of really, you could say there's really four, pretty much. I mean, the top two would be Halo and Gears, and
Yeah.
then you have Forza.
I was thinking
and
Forza.
Fable.
Yeah.
Forza and Fable, right? So I guess the question is like, are they looking at the coalition and Gears of War in general, and they're saying we're going to give them more support now that these guys are the guys and girls that need to lead Xbox into this next, generation, or however you want to look at it, with Project Helix and everything else. The coalition's the technological backbone of Xbox. I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, putting that into what Asher has been doing recently with closing other studios, that could be what they're thinking. They could be
Wow.
They could be putting those resources into Halo and Gears of War and making those the two main things that they push out. So
Dude,
that might be a thing. I mean, I'm not really sure what they're thinking, but if that's what they're doing, that would be awesome. Because
bro, is my man's over here fucking spitting, dude? Holy shit, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Jamie over here is crushing it with this. They close studios to kind of concentrate on the shit that they know is going to work. They've got obviously now Bethesda is focused on Fallout and Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
They're refocusing this shit, and it's really good. What they're doing, all in all, is good. They're kind of focusing on like the right things, and you might be right, dude. Closing what not so much like closing down studios because they're like kind of selling them off. I think that selling off Undead Labs was a huge mistake. Because I think
Absolutely.
State of Decay
Stay
State of
would have been
3 's
huge.
huge, brother. Huge. It's gonna be on PlayStation and it's gonna be on Game Pass. Well, it was gonna be on Game Pass. Now I don't know if it is. State of Decay 3 was gonna be big, dude. Like, bro, it was gonna be fucking big. And I don't know, dude. Like, I think that was the one mistake they made. Now, outside of that, though, them selling off some of these other studios and like, kind of restructuring things or letting studios go fully independent, you might be right, dude. Because now it frees up money, resource now that we can give that being Xbox into the shit they know can work. That's Gears of War. That's fucking Halo. Because when they have it right, when Halo and Gears gets it right, bro, it's a fucking different ecosystem. Gaming is different when Halo and Gears are great. It's fucking different, dude. It just is. And it's kind of like you can look at like other games too, even like PlayStation. PlayStation is great when
Yeah.
like, if God of War is great, like if some of their like when some of their exclusives are great, like it's great for PlayStation. It's great for them. And so like this is what it is for us. You know what I'm saying? I just oh dude, I'm so fucking hyped for E-Day. I'm like, and it's like it gives me chills just thinking about it, dude. We've got so much that we're like that to look forward to here.
Yeah.
When it comes to Gears of War, just as a franchise, dude. And I'm optimistic about it. I want to give you Clutchy, dude. We've been going on here, man, for a minute, dude. And I want to just, quickly, guys, before we get out of here, I want to thank Clutchy for coming on to the Gears Cast, man. Absolutely awesome having you, dude. You're welcome anytime,
That's
dude.
been awesome
You
being
want to
here.
hop in? You want to hop into some fucking streams and shit, dude? You are fucking a part of the squad, man. But um, I wanted to give you a moment, dude, and quickly, guys. If you guys have not already, go to Clutchy's Twitch. Check him out on Twitch. Check him out on YouTube, dude. You guys will have to start watching his content, dude, and watching his streams, dude. He streams consistently on Gears of War and will be for E-Day and the beta and everything else. I want to give you a moment though, dude, to um, I mean, look, we're getting close, man, to not only the beta, but the launch of Gears of War E-Day. What do
Yeah.
you got for the community, dude, as we are a couple of weeks? Like, I mean, really, when you think about it, dude, let me look at this fucking shit. Bro, we're getting close, you know? We are,
We've got
we're getting close
less than 4 weeks until the beta
less than
drops.
less than 4 weeks until the beta. And so, bro, what do you got for the community, dude, before we get out of here? As we are 4 weeks away and counting from the beta.
Honestly, I'm just focused on getting content out there. I'm still trying to. I'm not trying to broaden it too much. I'm trying to keep it down to what I know. So that's my commentary videos of like when I'm just playing the game and just saying what my brain's thinking. Putting that on YouTube. Stream. I basically just stream me playing the game, and that's what I'm known for is my gameplay. So that's what I want to keep doing. To keep doing that 5 times a week, maybe 6 times a week, and it's as simple as that. That's what I want to do. I want to keep playing Gears. I want to play Gears E-Day when that comes out. I want to completely focus on E-Day, and it's gonna be a hell of a ride. I can't wait for it.
Oh man, I can't agree with you more, dude. Guys, we're almost there. I mean, look, before you know it, the beta's going to be here, the game's going to be here, but really what it's about right now is all of you who have been joining the chat, coming in here on a Friday night. It's late for some of you, I know. It's late for Clutchy. It's a late one. But listen, guys, we're planting the seeds right now as a community for when this shit starts going. And it's very important. I've told you guys from the start, it's very important that we're collaborating on content. You guys who are coming into the chats and everything else, like, dude, I fucking love you guys, man. The support, everything, it's incredible. It's this is what it's about, dude. The Gears of War is nothing without you as the community. It is absolutely nothing without you. We are Gears of War. Make absolutely no mistake about it. We as the community are fucking Gears, and we're gonna go into this thing together, dude. And I'm fucking so excited about the beta. I'm so excited about just E-Day. We're getting a new Gears of War, and we're 4 weeks away from playing it. We've been waiting so fucking long for these moments, guys. And I love you guys all very much, dude. Clutchy, super big shout out to you, man. I'm super excited to watch your growth journey. I'm here for you, dude.
I
You
appreciate
need
that, man.
anything, I'm here for you, man. I'm all in for you. What you guys are doing with Essence and the all the boys over there. Super excited to grow with all of you. And if you guys did enjoy this episode of the Gears Cast, make sure that you leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, just keep grinding. And as always, I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace out.